Hola.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Oh, wow. Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Early on, too.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Nice and early.
Hola.
Greetings. How are we all doing?
Pretty good. And yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good.
I as well.
That's good.
So, Under the Cowl. Is that the official intro? So, Under the Cowl.
You know, this is so under the cowl.
Yeah, it really is. It feels more under the cowl than any other cowl that I've been under, at least.
Been under a lot of cowls, have you?
I have, yeah.
Anybody,
2020.
Anybody heard from Kirby lately?
I talked to him this morning about unrelated things, so he's around, but
Okay.
he didn't say anything about being on or not, so.
He didn't say anything about it last week either, and he wasn't.
True.
Most weeks he doesn't say anything about it, and then he shows up.
So yeah, I'd say you give the good 5 to 10 minute window until you get into the heavy topics. The big, all the world issues we talk about here on Under the Cowl.
Which, still not in the habit of posting topics like we talked about doing. So, we're just winging it today.
I'm pretty sure Anthony's going to talk about WandaVision.
We could.
Yeah, we watched it.
Did you? Okay. Well,
because we were talking about Saturday. I don't remember if that was recorded or.
No, I think we did. I mean, I probably was recording it, but I don't think it was actually officially yeah.
Officially.
Not on the official record.
So yeah, the WandaVision merchandise started rolling in over at the household here. So,
Mhm.
And what was interesting, and for those listening and watching, we should mention that spoilers for episode 1 and 2 of WandaVision. I assuming we've all watched both of them.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, when I ordered this pop a while ago, this is one of those pops that I didn't notice until it showed up, but it's labeled as you'll get, like a random. It's like one of two different choices. So even though I thought I was buying the Vision in human form with his work hat and briefcase, this one showed up with the Vision superhero costume, makeup, the face, but with all the work getup.
Yeah.
And I would find out. I went back to my order because I'm like, what the heck? I thought I ordered the other one, and this is apparently one of the rare ones. Then I forget what the official term would be beyond variant.
Chase figure.
What's that?
It's a chase figure.
Chase figure. That's the term.
Chase. Yeah. You got to chase it down.
So yeah,
One
I
in
chased
20
it
or
down.
1 in 25. They just slipped that in there.
Well, I chased this down from my post office and inside the box. Of course, I ripped it open right away because I don't care about a Chase figure and its value. But I did end up ordering the one I thought I was buying, so I've got that one showing up too. And that one I specifically, because I bought that one off of eBay because I knew I was getting that one. So
You got the one where he's dressed up for both of his jobs.
yeah, pretty much. I should get a little platform so I could just like leave them there in the corner.
You really
Yeah,
didn't demolish the box, did you?
yeah, definitely. I don't own a single pop box, so I've got maybe 150 pops, not a single box.
Oh, but the Chase figure, man, you could have probably turned around and sold that for like $80.
Then it would not be in my hands right now
But it sounds like you didn't want it anyways. You were hoping
because I thought I was buying the other one. This one's still cool.
So it's not that he didn't want it; it's that he didn't know he was getting it.
Yeah, I know that kind of sucks. There's times where there's like a Chase figure and it's like I like the original figure better, and it's like keeping your fingers crossed. I don't want the Chase. I want the one I ordered. But
Yeah. It'll be showing up. I think it already started shipping. So unless they just send this one again, so and then I'll sell
send that one again. Don't open it.
Yeah, that one you can sell to Damon for $80.
Actually,
I
stopped
stopped collecting pops.
it's gonna go up to 90, I think. But yeah, Marvel Studios' first television series under the watch of Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios, presented through Disney Plus. First 2 episodes out of 9 dropped the Friday the 15th, and going into this one, we knew that we lost the Vision in Infinity War, but in Endgame he didn't come back because he wasn't blipped away; he was just destroyed. Now, here's one thing that I forget. If I'm sure we probably talked about at the actual shop when Endgame came out or after Infinity War, but when you see Thanos rips the stone out of Vision's head, he turns, a very similar color here, and
Very true.
yeah, so he loses.
It's the Optimus Prime death.
There you go. And that's probably going to be, we're going to see him turn into a semi in episode 3, I bet. So,
Semi something.
I thought that they were just going to repair Vision in Endgame, like with Rocket and Bruce and whoever was left to repair him, but then keep him that color because he had the white costume in comics. So the second I saw him turn gray, I was just like, oh, that'll be cool because they'll just rebuild him and he'll be back.
Right.
But then he didn't come back. But now he is, in a way.
Now, I don't know what they're going to do or what the explanation is going to be for having him in the show. We assume that this doesn't take place like prior to Endgame or anything. I think something's going on here, definitely. But I will say, when it comes to Endgame, they did leave it open for possibility of bringing him back. They were working on downloading his brain and everything. And they didn't actually say whether they completed it or not before it was like, or complete enough that, he could, be resurrected. But they were in the process of doing that. And so it really hasn't been said like, no, we didn't get enough or we completely failed. It's just that, he had to go, no more time, and went out and got killed by Thanos, so there is that possibility that they got enough, downloaded from him to be able to do that. And so a lot of people were discussing that with the color too, because in the comics, when he changed to the white Vision look, he was also less human at that stage. And so there was some discussion going on, some theories that with the color change, and then that maybe they didn't quite get all of his personality or something. So when he comes back, from the downloaded brain and whatever, that he won't be quite the same, and he would be the more computer-like, robot-like version of Vision that we had in the comics when he was all white, and then eventually he got his personality kind of developed back. So
And with this show that we start off with the sitcoms, the Dick Van Dyke, the Bewitched type homages, but we have Wanda and Vision living in 60s, 50s, and 60s sitcom lifestyle, which for the majority of the first episode, everything is all just normal. We even get a commercial break for a little Stark Industries toaster, which there's some things that are definitely happening within that, because we see those same two actors are also in the second episode's commercial for the Strucker Hydra watch.
yes.
And going into Wanda's backstory, has ties to both Hydra and Strucker as well as Stark. So there's definitely some things there that are kind of brewing that'll most likely, guessing we'll probably get a couple more commercials in the next few weeks. But
Yeah, I think so, and I would expect that we would get the same two people in them. I'm sure they're connected in some way, or it could just be the how they've decided to do the commercial thing, where we'll just bring the same two actors in and they're doing these different commercials. But it feels like in something like this, something Marvel and everything, that there's got to be more to it than we just decided it would be cute to use the same actors.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely something more to it than that. And, we probably have some sort of clues or something going on in the commercials. For example, wasn't the light on the toaster actually in color? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
We have yet another guest, and I don't know if this guest has if I can get my mouse to actually click on this thing here.
Is it Mickey Mouse?
No, it's not. I don't know if this particular guest has watched WandaVision or whatever, so we might now have to tone down the spoilers.
First, we'll introduce Katie. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. It's good to talk with you. It's been a long time since I've been able to come on a Wednesday night. How's it going? How's everyone doing today?
Pretty
Good.
Good.
We're just in the middle of talking about WandaVision, but we will hit pause to wait for you. Have you seen episodes 1 and 2?
I haven't. If you want, I can jump out. I just want to talk about it.
No, we can discuss other things. We were just
Okay,
talking
let's
about
go
it because it's fresh in our minds, and everybody here had seen it at that point. So we'll.
Quite right.
But yeah,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
But yeah, it'll more so be a teaser for next week's episode, because I was talking about on Saturday that I think a lot of the stuff for the show is really going to ramp up in episode 3. There's a batch of people, actually, a friend of mine has seen episode 3. They're given the screeners, they're part of journalists and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people just saying like, oh man, they, the first 3 episodes are like kind of what kicks things off. So I think we'll probably have a much deeper discussion once we get that one this Friday. But
Okay. Yeah, that's actually good to know, because based off of what the club was saying on Saturday, I was like, maybe I should wait until there's a few more out to watch it, because you guys are like Marvel experts, and if you had questions about it, I'm like, well, I probably will too. So that's good that episode 3 is well regarded.
But yeah, I think I had said this too, but I would personally order 100 episodes of the sitcom style. Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, I thought are playing them great. Thought the makeup and the costuming, the direction, the music, everything about it, just without the stuff that we won't talk about, but everything outside of that was just the traditional sitcom feel behind it was I thought was expertly done, and kind of it's very different than where we left the MCU, but obviously based
Okay.
on 7 episodes, there'll be some shenanigans.
Yeah, I think it would be different
Very
if, I mean, if you were watching a show with these characters, but you didn't have this other stuff going on that makes you go, wait, hey, what's going on? And it was just a show in the style of a 50s sitcom or a 60s sitcom or whatever. That would be different. You'd know what you're
Okay.
in for, you know what you're getting into. But because it's not
Yeah.
that, and you can tell that it's not going to continue as that. That's why kind of Saturday when we were kind of talking about this, I had said that I think that anybody who weren't fans, hadn't watched the Avengers movies and stuff like that, would tune into this and kind of go like, what the hell is this? You know, and
Yeah.
and very well might not tune in for any more if they even finish
Okay.
watching the first one. But you know, it's clearly it is a show that is put out there to cater to a specific audience,
Hmm.
because there's a lot of Easter eggs in there that are kind of, you know, important clues. They're not just thrown in there, I don't think, because some of them are somewhat recurring.
Okay.
So I don't think that they're thrown in there just for, oh, it'd be cool if we just kind of hide this little detail in there,
Right.
which some Easter eggs are.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of these are more of like, okay, there's something on. We're seeing this again, or something similar, and it's
Mhm.
related. So there's got to be something to it. But anybody who's not a fan isn't going to pick up on those things. And actually, people who aren't comics fans probably won't pick up on them at all, because there are some things that haven't been related to any of the movies, but are straight from the comics.
Okay.
But it really,
That's cool.
if you know what they are in the comics, it really gets you thinking, hey, are they doing this? Is this the storyline that they're doing? Or
Okay.
so it gets you thinking in that way.
And that's the one
Oh,
fun.
that's cool.
That's the one fun thing too, is that there isn't a comic called WandaVision. There isn't a story
Right.
about the sitcom life. There's nothing that it's like, all right, read this graphic novel and you're set. It's
Yeah.
like every MCU thing and even DC stuff, any kind of superhero movie, taking stuff from this generation story and from this decade and that decade, thrown into a blender, adding their own thing to it, and kind of, creating their own project. And that's what's exciting, is because going off of certain comic knowledge and Easter eggs, there's certain things that we could expect, but ultimately it's going to be something that actually isn't in print anywhere
Okay.
in this fashion with this setup. But
Okay. That's actually good to know. Because yeah, I have a wild theory. Okay, you know how in the comics Scarlet Witch is sometimes part of the X-Men or does stuff with them? What if they're going to use WandaVision to bring the X-Men into the official MCU?
very popular theory. Yes, it's
Oh, okay. Here I thought I was clever.
I don't know if Marvel's there yet. I don't think they're ready to
Yeah.
tackle X-Men yet.
They
Okay.
have. I mean, there's been rumors about kind of hinting. I mean, we know that we're getting Deadpool 3, so
Right.
that's got to cover some of that.
Mhm.
But with both Spider-Man 3 and the upcoming Doctor Strange
Mhm.
sequel, both dealing with the multiverse, and it has been said, you know, that WandaVision will tie directly into Doctor Strange.
Oh,
That
then I have to watch it.
you know, that, and I don't know how. I mean, it could be that it really doesn't, and then all of a sudden, you know, with the end, they suddenly are like, you know, torn away by Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
and or whatever.
There'll be a
we don't know
post-credit scene.
Yeah, we don't know if the stuff.
will be 2 hours of Doctor Strange.
There we go. Speaking of, are there post-credit scenes for WandaVision?
At this point, no.
No.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I have a question for you that might actually answer your question, David.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was this morning actually that I just read that Marvel is in talks with Michael Fassbender, which I think everybody knows who that is.
Mhm.
He even played Magneto in the Days of Future Past version of X-Men. Marvel was in talks for him to play an unspecified villain in upcoming MCU films. The rumor
Ooh.
is that he was going to be Doctor Doom. I have not read the old Marvel stuff, so I'm just wondering who exactly is Doctor Doom, and could that be who is tied in with Doctor Strange and maybe possibly the end of WandaVision?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Well, it sounds like they're going to be going forward with Fantastic Four stuff before going forward with X-Men, and Doctor Doom, of course, being like the Fantastic Four villain. Now he has been a villain to Spider-Man and the X-Men
And
and
Marvel
to,
in general.
you know, yeah, Spider-Man,
Yes.
Avengers, what, Squirrel Girl, you know, he's taken them all on, faring
would
better
be-
with some than others.
That casting, if that could be something that would happen, I mean, I'm all for that.
Yeah, that would be great.
He's pretty great in anything, but also to have someone of his gravitas playing Doctor Doom, I think that could be pretty good. But yeah, there's certain things about WandaVision that, well, we'll dive into, I think, a lot more next week. But certain things, whether I'm talking about it with you guys or if I'm talking with friends that are just the MCU fans and don't dive into comics or anything like that, there's basically text threads I've been having all week of friends asking me this or that, and then I just reply maybe, and then I reply again maybe not, because I'm just like, I don't know anything, but I also don't want to say like, well, this thing happened in the comics, so then so it's a possibility. So it's been kind of fun, at least with those friends that are just like, trying to get information out of me as if I'm Kevin Feige, but I'm
Come
not.
on, Anthony, you're in comics, you know.
I know, right? I just said, I'm like, well, I know these things, but that has nothing to do with, technically has nothing to do with WandaVision.
But
'Cause
you've
that's-
literally been in the comics.
That is true. Great time to plug issue number 3, X-Ray Robot, currently on sale and in trade paperback form. I think this week or last week. Mine's in the mail. So yeah, X-Ray Robot issue number 1 through 4 in a trade paperback, or go to Comixology and check it out now. Thanks for that plug, David.
But I suppose even though they're going to concentrate and move towards Fantastic Four, at least that's what they've said, that doesn't mean that we won't be introduced to mutants somehow or another. Or, some people have thought, well, maybe they're actually going to, the reason they haven't had mutants before is because they haven't existed until they start playing around with the multiverse, and all of a sudden, hey, now we have mutants. Yeah, I don't know what Marvel is planning, what they're doing MCU wise with mutants and how they're going to bring that into it. I mean, sure, a lot of people would say, well, all this stuff's been going on, and we're just now getting the Fantastic Four. They should have came before. Obviously, we all know that the whole rights to the characters, things, whatever, changed all that, and we're not. Unless they do a Captain Marvel type thing, where we're actually going to have a Fantastic Four taking place in the 90s, and they show up ahead of time, and maybe they've been out there gallivanting across whatever, and then finally come back. That is a possibility, but they're probably not going to do that with Fantastic Four and then do the same thing with the X-Men. And suddenly that's how we're introducing all these characters, by setting them in, whatever. We're gonna do the X-Men, and we're bringing them into the MCU, but their first movie is actually going to take place in the 60s. They're probably not going to do that with all of them.
No.
I got a feeling that Kevin Feige, who has spearheaded this Marvel Studios from 2006 to the current, that he probably has some plans. It was like 5 years ago already. He said that he had the giant map to everything through like 2030 for movie and story timeline. So he's probably got an idea up his sleeve or two.
Right. And any of those plans can change. I mean, early MCU, they had some ideas, they had some things planned out, but they were still kind of winging it because they weren't sure how things were going to go. And they got to a point where suddenly it's like, wow, everything we put out is gold. And it's like even our lesser movies that we've put out have still been, popular, and they've done very well. So at this point, I think they feel pretty safe in like putting together a long-term plan and being able to stick with that, because they're not at that point where they were early on, where they're going, let's maybe see how we do with the Hulk before we know if we're going to have like a bunch of Hulk movies or what we're going to do with them.
And things like the Avengers unexpected success to that magnitude led them to be like, yeah, let's do Guardians of the Galaxy, which everyone said, oh, well, this is going to be their first flop. And obviously now it's one of the biggest things in the world. And give into Kevin Feige his planning again, going into Civil War, he had two different paths that, because he, behind the scenes, they were trying to get the thing going with Sony and Spider-Man. So if that happened, they had path number one, which we've seen, and then there's path number two where that deal didn't happen, and they just went with this string of movies. So I'm guessing that, before the public knew about the Fox thing, he's probably been dealing with it for a year and a half, behind the scenes, before we even heard it was a possibility that Disney would buy them. So yeah,
some very big steps for the MCU along the way in being able to show that, hey, we can do this and the audience will buy into it. Guardians of the Galaxy was a big one. Even though wasn't MCU at the time, Deadpool actually was, because that showed that, hey, we can do an R-rated movie with a Marvel character, and people are still going to go see it, and it can be popular. Guardians of the Galaxy was the one where they said, we've got all these Marvel characters that nobody outside of the comic book fans knows who they are, and there's such wild things that we do with them in the comic books. I don't know if we could get away with doing a movie of, like, say, Guardians of the Galaxy, but then they did it, and it proved that they can have really great success even with characters that aren't Captain America and Spider-Man. And then they kind of topped that off by doing Doctor Strange, which let them get into the mystic magic type of stuff, and that was accepted too. So they've covered pretty much everything at this point that they could really go, this is going to be too wild for audiences to really get and accept. They've done pretty much what they can do to ensure that they can go forward with all of these things. So doing X-Men and Fantastic Four and things like that is like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's crazy to think of all the success they've had in the 11 years with the Avengers and Guardians and everything in between, and yet in the next 10 years we still have two of their biggest. They did most of that without Spider-Man, and then Fantastic Four and X-Men just being like, just the fact of like Wolverine is still waiting to get an MCU treatment. Like they have a lot of longevity in just the characters and their previous success, but yeah, anyways, I think that was pretty good for the second half there, for some non-spoiler WandaVision for everyone listening and watching then. So we'll get episode 3 this coming Friday, and possibly on the next Under the Cowl we may have some answers and can dive into some more theories and discussion, and I'll probably have a couple more pops that show up in the mail. Actually,
Ooh.
I do have a couple more WandaVision ones that arrived, but we haven't seen them in the episodes yet. If you've seen
Okay.
you know them, but I'm not even spoiling the trailers through pop figures. So.
Cool. Those are a unique pop.
So yeah, that is WandaVision, which looks like I'm ready to start episode 2 in the background as I watch as we go. Volume down so Disney doesn't sue us, or sue David rather.
But I had nothing to do with it.
Question for the peanut gallery here.
Mhm.
Have any of you guys been to Fazoli's?
Yeah.
In Fond du Lac? Or
Yep.
yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, David? No.
I have not.
Are they
Okay.
closed now?
Well, yes.
Was that where the meatball story happened?
No, that was see.
that?
What's funny is I have two meatball stories,
Mhm.
but that's not where one of them was.
Oh, okay.
Meatball stories. That'll have to be a different. That's a podcast in its own. So the Fond du Lac location closed. It's still open in the Oshkosh location, at least as of
Okay.
now. But Fazoli's one of my favorite places to go. Now a lot of people kind of compare, whether it's Fazoli's or Olive Garden, and I've heard people that love one or the other or both, whatever. But Fazoli's was always my jam, and usually every couple months or so, because there was never anywhere to go in Fond du Lac in the last couple years. I used to get my comics up there, and then Pizza Ranch, but then one came to West Bend, and then the mall was kind of just turning into a wasteland. So Fazoli's was like the last standing thing that I would go to Fond du Lac for and come back. So a couple times this past year, I've gotten takeout and coming back to my house, and it's still pretty piping hot with the drive. And so I was getting all ready to go this week. I had planned, yep, I'm going in January, blah, blah, blah. And then I get a couple text messages saying Fazoli's and Fond du Lac closed, and
Oh.
real abrupt. And they just put a sign on the door and referred to the information that you can go to Oshkosh, which now I'm thinking well, Oshkosh, and then eating a pasta meal in my car and stuff that didn't sound as exciting as, I'm not going to probably bring it home from Oshkosh, but and I'm not going to sit on a picnic bench in the middle of winter or something. But yeah, Fazoli's. It followed the announcement of my other favorite restaurant, which closed in 2020 here, Fuddruckers. Any Fuddruckers fans?
Oh, big fan.
So
Yeah.
that was another one of those too that I always kind of planned out. And when my issue of X-Ray Robot issue number 3, when that was going to come out, I had this whole plan of going to pick up the comic physically and then going to Fuddruckers and have Fuddruckers and blah, blah, blah. And then that one closed, and then apparently the Appleton one was already closed.
Aw.
They're in Wisconsin, and so then Fazoli's was my backup spot for when I went to get X-Ray Robot issue number 3.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, but now Fazoli's is closed too. So
Oh man.
I'm not going to at all choose a favorite restaurant anymore, just in case the powers that be take it away from me.
Man, that is so sad, man. That mall was such a big part of my childhood. Oh man, I'm sorry for you. That sucks.
Yeah.
Man, 2020 takes another one.
Yeah, like I said, we still have the Oshkosh one, but I think when the weather's nicer, I'll be going out there a little more. But yeah, I figured I want to do a little restaurant news update here on Under the Cowl, because Under the Cowl was primarily talking about food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's usually pizza, and occasionally we take a break and do some Taco Bell or,
And I don't want to get
Italian. Have you ever been to Maggiano's?
Oh, they're good.
I mean,
I haven't.
that's that blows Olive Garden out of the water. We won't even eat there.
Yeah.
No. We're very picky about where we eat.
Where is that one?
Mayfair Mall.
Mayfair Mall, and then you go to
Mayfair.
So yeah, that's what we do. We go to Maggiano's and then go to Lego.
Yay!
Was going to ask in the light of those restaurants closing, is there any restaurants that you guys like, something that has won away over, from childhood to now or something, like your go-to comfort food, comfort place? Anyone want to jump in on that one?
This year or in the past?
In the past.
Oh, my family, my dad and I, when I was a kid, our favorite restaurant of all time was Chi-Chi's. If you went during the week,
Oh yeah,
lunch buffet, it was excellent. They had enchiladas, tacos. They even had their own queso on there, and so it was all you could eat, like enchiladas and queso. And it's wonder how I'm so big as an adult, right? But yeah, we'd go there. That was like our favorite restaurant, and then that closed. And then when we'd go to meet my grandmother for lunch, the Fuddruckers by Northridge wasn't too far away when there was a Fuddruckers there, so we'd always go, either there, or she liked Old Country Buffet, or right by her house on 27th and Silver Spring was an old Big Boy. On a ground round. And so, that was our thing. Every Saturday we'd go out to eat, and all these places are gone, and it's like.
I went to each of those places on Saturday night.
But, yeah, Chi-Chi's, I still talk about that to this day when I get a couple margaritas into me. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, Chi-Chi's, Fuddruckers, all those places, where we go as a kid. And, yeah, they're all gone.
yeah. I know we've talked about it before on several podcasts, but I miss the old school Pizza Huts. I miss those a lot.
Yeah, because most of them now are, the minimal dining. Most of them kind of encourage the
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pizza Hut, I would say the same thing of going in there and having the Simpsons or Turtles arcade machine and
Yep.
the Book It program.
Yes.
Getting your free personal.
Yep.
Getting your Land Before Time.
Yeah.
Puppets.
Yeah, even though there was like, I don't know, a permanent pizza grease film over everything, it still, there was just something about actually going into the old Pizza Hut.
I remember.
Yeah, and
Shakey's.
Shakey's, yeah.
I don't.
That was good.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever actually been to a Shakey's or not.
The dog food incident is what killed that place.
Not sure. I
Oh
know.
dear.
I haven't heard about it, but I'm suddenly happy that I haven't been to a Shakey's.
Yeah, same. I'm good.
Shaky.
There's one in
Funny, I know somebody that had a dog named Shaky.
No. There was one in Waukesha, one I think in Fond du Lac, and then like one in Green Bay and one in West Allis, and they pretty much all ended up closing. But what really gave them the bad name was the one in Green Bay. They got busted because the garbage man kept finding a large amount of dog food cans in their dumpster. And what it turned out was, to save money, the owner was using dog food instead of meat for like their meat sauce and stuff like that for on the buffet. And so that was a big scandal, and that pretty much killed the restaurants everywhere.
And you're talking about Shakey's, but not Shaggy's, right? Shaggy's and Scooby's. That's something different.
Shakey's.
Okay.
It's the same that one place can kill. Like I think the Chi-Chi's incident, I was on the East Coast. One restaurant had some health outbreak or something. It's like E. coli, but not some other disease from undercooked food, and that just killed all the locations. It's a shame, but yeah, that pretty much killed all the Shakey's. But then out of the ruins of that, came the Pizza Ranch. I think is where Pizza Ranch started, out of the ruins of Shakey's.
And normally when you hear it kills the Shakey's, that sounds like a good thing. Being like, oh, I got rid of the old Shakey's. But
Oh, I got Shakey's.
in this sense, that's if anything, it creates more shakies because you're nervous and you're hungry, you're starving, you want the shakies. So that shakies that might be a possible episode title. Just remember that there's got to be some kind of remember the shakies or got a case of the shakies.
Another one I miss is A&W, but
Oh,
they have one in Fond du Lac. So usually once a year in non-pandemic times, I go to the A&W car hop in Fond du Lac, and that's good stuff. So
there's one in Fond du Lac, there's one in Oshkosh, there's one way up north, and there's one in Racine. I know where they all are. I go there just to get the
nice.
root beer. There's and there's
Oh yeah,
their competitor is like a mom and pop standalone, Jake's root beer in Waukesha.
Oh,
Same thing.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, usually if I come back from Chicago during the day for like a morning event, comic signing or what have you, the Racine stop would always be what I get into. But when it comes to root beer and stuff, I always just get A&W root beer like at at the store and stuff. And it's hard to top a nice frosted mug of A&W root beer.
Yeah, I always forget that there's one in Fond du Lac. I'm gonna have to think about that next time I'm up there because I haven't been to an A&W in years. Actually, I bet I haven't been to an A&W since I was in the Army, and we had one on the base.
Unfortunately, I don't think they do the frozen mugs anymore because last time I was there, I just got styrofoam cup.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the last
In Waukesha, still, at least last time I was there, still did the frosted mug.
Yeah,
But
Racine had the frosted one, and probably I probably would have went in 2019. I didn't go in 2020, so. But
Yeah, we were just at the one in Oshkosh within the last month, actually. When we went up to the day I went to that house of whatever that comic book store you sent me to.
House of Heroes, yeah.
Yeah, in Oshkosh, we went to the Oshkosh A&W because I wanted to get a couple large sodas to drink, and I bought a gallon to take home. And yeah, we got them. No frosted mugs, just the styrofoam cups. I think with all the health concerns and everything, I think that's pretty much over.
Yeah. David, any key restaurant of childhood's past?
Nothing that really stands out. It's there were certain places. I mean, a lot of those places are still around, but as we're mentioning some of the restaurants, I was like, oh yeah, it just brings back memories. Like my grandparents would always take me to Old Country Buffet for my birthday, which wasn't even on my birthday because they lived down in Arkansas and they'd come up for like a week or two every summer, and so it was actually closer to my brother's birthday. But they take each of us out and be like, well, this is for your birthday, even though it's not not by your birthday. But Old Country Buffet was the place for that. So but yeah, I lived really walking distance from a big boy. But yeah, we'd eat there every once in a while. What was that, on 27th and whatever?
Spring. Just
What's that?
27th in Silver Spring.
No, South Side.
Oh, sorry.
But we go to that, and then they close that one down. So not really anything that I can think of that was just like, oh my God, I can't believe they shut down. My life is ruined.
Well, I've had those two life is ruined moments, Fuddruckers and at least Fazoli's within my immediate reach. I still have a little comfort zone with Fazoli's, but I would have to go out of state for Fuddruckers. So.
Well, to keep the conversation going, instead of restaurants that you love that are gone, how about restaurants that you love from other parts of the country that you wish would come?
How about movies? Kevin Smith pop-up one. The closest it got was Chicago, but I wasn't going to Chicago in a pandemic to get a Tippy Cow burger or something. But well, you hear a lot of good things about In-N-Out. If you're follow any celebrity talking about California. Has anyone been to In-N-Out Burger? Which I don't know if it's just
No.
California. or just West Coast or. But yeah, In-N-Out Burger is one of the ones that everyone craves, and if you follow any celebrity, you'll always see pictures of their food, and it all looks delicious, obviously. But that could be one that maybe could come a little closer.
Whenever I hear
I've
someone
eaten
say,
at a Whataburger several times when I lived in Texas.
What a burger!
Whataburger.
And was it a burger?
It was a burger. What? A burger?
How about
But
you?
yeah, those are all down south more.
yes, I would kill to have a Waffle House up here.
Oh,
Or
that would be fun.
Old Chicago is a great pizza Italian joint from oddly enough, it's not from Chicago. It's from Colorado and stuff, but there's actually one up in Green Bay. Whenever we go up to a Packer game, we'll usually stop and eat there.
I actually have the perfect answer. I should have said it first. Buffalo Wings and Rings. I've told the story a couple times.
Hey,
So this is the short version of Wings and Rings. Went to a comic shop signing, Graham Cracker Comics in Naperville, located the place, and then I was going to go search for somewhere to eat beforehand. Right next door was what I thought Buffalo Wild Wings. So I went in. I'm like, oh, cool. All right. I like comfortable thing or familiar things, so I knew what I would get and everything, and blah blah blah. Sat down, and I'm looking at the menu, and this menu looks really different. To it's different colors and stuff. And then I just looked around, and I see the sports going on, and the TVs, and all the memorabilia and stuff, but all the colors are just kind of inverted in a way. And then I look at the front of the menu, and I'm sitting in a restaurant called Buffalo Wings and Rings, not Buffalo Wild Wings. And I was just like, wait, what? So I ordered exactly what I would get at a Buffalo Wild Wings, some medium wings and some parm garlic wings. So I'm like, well, if I'm eating at this, questionable place that I didn't know existed, I'm going to get something familiar, can compare it. And I keep this photo in my favorites so I could show it off for just these kind of moments. These are the most
Whoa.
delicious ones. I like Buffalo Wild Wings, but that's nothing compared to Buffalo Wings and Rings. And on the parm garlic one, it's got this nice powdered in addition to the sauce too, and they're just so juicy and tender. And every now and then through Twitter or Facebook, I'll send a message to Buffalo Wings and Rings, which are closest ones will be in Illinois. And I'll be like, will you open up one in Wisconsin? Blah, blah, blah. And then they just go, you never know. And then I'm like, no, just tell me. I'm like, I don't want to be teased around with this. I need an answer. So Buffalo Wings and Rings needs to come to Wisconsin. But yeah.
I have one. First of all, also second that Graham Cracker Comics is a great store. Go check them out. I've been to the one in the Loop, and I love them. A restaurant for me that I would love to see come closer is one of the Iron Chef's restaurants, specifically Iron Chef Morimoto's restaurant. I would love to eat there, and it's expensive. It's kind of fancy, but I think that would be really fun. I would travel to go and eat at that restaurant because I've watched Iron Chef Japan, Iron Chef America, and just really admire Chef Morimoto's cooking, and I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun.
What if they took some of the cantina from Galaxy's Edge and brought that to Wisconsin?
I was gonna say that we should do that in Wisconsin Dells, but I'm like, let's be real here. But I mean, if they did, it would be an instant AP. I would be down there every single weekend, maxing out credit cards on it. So yes, I would love that. That needs to happen. There is a cantina inspired bar in Los Angeles that's called the Scum and Villainy Bar.
Yes.
I'd love to go there. I don't know when or if I'm ever getting out to Los Angeles, but that would be fun. But so, yep, 3 things that we can bring. That would be great.
For those that don't know, the Scum and Villainy Bar, which Kevin Smith is in partnership with when they do their Fat Man
no way.
So weekly for the last couple years now, they do that, and they'll do couple charity things here and there, whether it's for the bar during the pandemic times or raise money for good causes and cancer and things like that. They've done utilize Kevin Smith's audience doing a 2-hour show, but if you type in Fat Man Beyond on YouTube, you'll get almost a weekly show. They used to do it behind the bar, and it's all geek centric stuff, news and stuff like that. But now during the LA lockdowns, they're zooming from home, but they still have the owner of the bar that's kind of controlling things. And but yeah, Scum and Villainy, yeah, looks like a dream place. Like I'd imagine like with Damon, and I being like Kevin Smith podcast fans and stuff like that. Like they have their regulars. Like, can you imagine like every Tuesday night just like being?
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
I have imagined.
I like Kevin Smith. I like Mark Bernardin. I'd probably go there at least 2-3 Saturdays out of the month.
Yeah, it would be
I'd
like
love to see that at Hollywood Babylon with Ralph Garman.
But yeah,
Yep.
good. So yeah, I've got about 8 minutes left. I don't know. Did you guys go longer after I left last week?
Not much.
Too much, but I give myself a hard out for my early bedtime and my early rise for work. So, but yeah, any other closing topics at all for the last 10 minutes here?
No, I mean, I'm ready to eat now because
Yeah.
I actually had dinner and then we did this and we talked about food and now I'm like, yeah, I gotta go eat second dinner.
I almost had almost my A&W meal. Normally I would get a chili dog, frosted root beer, some cheese curds. That's usually my go-to A&W meal. But actually tonight I had a hot dog, made some Frito canned nacho cheese for dipping, had some curly fries and the root beer. So I didn't have the cheese curds, but I figured with the cheese sauce and everything, I almost replicated just naturally my A&W meal. So
Since everybody's so hungry and thirsty, we could all pile in the car, go to Racine, get some White Castle and some root beer to wash it down.
yeah, that sounds like an idea. And
Yep, we'll all fill up on sliders and root beer, jump around, get it all churned up, and boy, will that be a fun car ride home.
yeah, nice and cold. So we'll probably all be pretty warm on the inside with all those sliders sliding down. So
All the windows locked, so no one can escape.
yeah, I'm gonna have to rain check. I don't want to outwardly pass on it. I just want to keep saying rain check every single time and just get out that way. So
Does anybody do rain checks anymore?
we write them at the stores a couple times if people ask. So
Do you?
and like, are you saying like a rain check for an event hangout or?
No, I just mean like actually like a rain check, like you go in if they don't have something or whatever.
But yeah,
you rain
yeah,
check.
we'll do it. And if we got some like super hot deals, they'll be specifically advertised no rain checks. If it's a very limited type thing, but we have the rain check notepads yet, so it does happen from time to time.
So when Kirby and Shelley are in there looking for a certain item, and Anthony hasn't ordered enough of it,
Yeah.
Then they can just get a rain check.
What's kind of funny is that with the pandemic and everything, now that I'm thinking of it, there's probably been less rain checks because nothing's guaranteed anymore. So while they're probably still available, it really hasn't been an issue now that I think of it, just because nothing's a guarantee. So
Especially chocolate milk.
I've got 12 more sassy cows ordered for tomorrow. Got I think a full
Now,
chocolate glass at the moment.
the Sassy Cow is good, but you got us kind of hooked on the Lamers chocolate milk.
The glass bottle one.
Yeah. And now she's even hooked on the glass bottle of the regular milk, the Lamers. She likes it better than the regular stuff she gets. So,
Well, when summer comes around, I usually do it in May. They'll have lemonade in the glass bottles. They do pink lemonade and regular lemonade, and They're pretty good. It's one of those that you know, your face kind of turns inside out in a good way. So
Ooh, I just add a little vodka and you'd be set.
I usually drink my chocolate milk and my lemonade out of a glass. Does that count? Or?
Sure. I thought you were gonna say put them together. It's a half and half mixture of chocolate milk and lemonade. So chocolate lemonade.
Yeah, I'm gonna not try that.
You want a rain check?
I think my sliders and root beer sound better than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fill up on sliders and wash it down with some chocolate lemonade.
What?
You know what? We should try chocolate lemonade live on the podcast. I would try it.
Ooh, fruit lemonade.
It's gonna be gross.
I would. I mean, but I'm the guy who drank an entire bottle of Tabasco sauce on a dare. And when somebody said, "I'll give you $5," that just sealed it. So.
Yeah, you were gonna do it normally.
I know I was gonna do it without the $5.
Yeah, well, tune in next week. Maybe we'll have chocolate lemonade to pass around. So
So,
All right, that's got to be the thing now. Everybody's welcome to be on Under the Cowl again next week, but you got to bring some chocolate lemonade.
that's our hazing ritual.
Oh, and I only had to bleed to get into the club. Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Kirby's
Gee,
back. It's like, what do you guys do to the show since I've been gone? Yeah. Anyways,
Maybe he had some chocolate lemonade and hasn't been back since.
you know what chocolate lemonade would do? It'd probably give you a case of the shakies.
I bet you're gonna say something else.
If I was an editor, that would have been a perfect exit.
It would have been. It still might be. So. All right. I guess. Well, with that, I guess we'll wrap it up. I'm going to go say hello to my wife because I can hear that she's home. You know, since she's got to bring Ethan home on Wednesdays now, she stops in. So I run up there. I can catch her on the way out.
Cool. So yeah, everyone's homework is watch up to episode 3 of WandaVision.
All right, we'll do.
sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good week. Hope to talk to you Saturday.
Yeah,
Alright.
take care.